So we
Okay.
have Professor Shad. Shad, what's your last name?
My name's Shadrach. Last name is Miller.
Shad Miller. Okay, so you're out of Combat Club, Arizona in Cottonwood, Arizona. So
Yep.
Shad, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 2011. Um, I'm married with one kid. We live up here in beautiful Cottonwood, Arizona, and
Yeah.
we have a gym both in Sedona and in Cottonwood.
Oh, you have another gym in Sedona.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Cool.
opening tomorrow, so it's our grand
Oh
opening
my
tomorrow.
God, congrats. That's huge.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
So how long has your school been open in Cottonwood?
In Cottonwood, we opened in January of 2021, so right at
Wow.
the tail end of COVID. So
Uh-huh.
it was fun times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a small town up here. We're about
Right.
14,000 people up here.
Yeah.
Quite a bit different than Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But there's lots of jiu-jitsu, and there's actually a few other gyms in town as well. So it's
Yeah.
a good little jiu-jitsu community up here.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to come over there and see what you guys are up
Yeah,
to.
please,
All right. All
please. We
right.
have some fun here.
All right. Cool. So tell us how did you get into jujitsu?
For me, I was in the army, and they were starting to talk about less armed conflict and more hand-to-hand stuff. So I thought, all right, well, I better go down and join the local jiu-jitsu gym and get a head up on these guys because I was older. I was 38 years old when I started, and 38 is like a million years old in the army. Um, so I went to a jiu-jitsu class and trained for about 6 months, maybe. I'm not even sure if it was that long. And then they got us all in a circle one day, and I had to go with some of their guys and
Uh-huh.
started beating everybody up. And then they said, well, how are you doing all this? And I said, I've just been going to local jiu-jitsu for the past 2 months and getting my butt kicked. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's kind of where it started for me. And of course, it's much, much more than, just fighting type stuff, but
Yeah.
fell in love with it for other reasons. But that was basically my origin story, how I got started. So
That's super cool. So, did you get into competing at all?
I got into competing at about purple belt level. And that was, gosh, 4 years ago, I think, something like
Yeah.
that. So I don't really enjoy competing
Really?
um,
Okay.
as much.
Uh-huh.
And I like it now. But back then I was terrified and didn't really want to compete and all that.
Yeah.
But I owned a school, and if I wanted my people to go compete, I need to lead from the front. So got
Yeah.
over it and went and did it and
There you
have lots
go.
of fun. So
So do you still compete?
yeah, I still compete. So
Nice. All right.
typically AZBJJL is my preferred
Yeah.
one these days. I started grappling industries, which I like. Grappling industries
Uh-huh.
is fun. Um, but now it's time to move on to something a little harder.
Yeah.
Um, so that's what I'm doing. Still looking for my first win in the AZBJJL, but
Uh-huh. You'll
um,
get there.
I'm oh yeah, for sure, not worried. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it is fun. I meet a lot of cool people that way too. So
Cool.
and and especially at the black belt level, like it's a good way to meet other schools and other instructors and stuff
For
like that.
sure.
And honestly, like the guys that I've competed against there will typically text me before the next one and remind me, hey, I'm going to go do this one. Are you interested? Type
Uh-huh.
of thing. And I'm like, yeah. Or if I can, then we go. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
but
Okay. So tell us, how did your first competition experience go? I know that's not always a good
well,
thing to look back on, but
no, it was actually no, it was a great thing.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah. We had I signed up for the purple belt division, and I forgot what weight. I think it was heavyweight. But went and did that, and it was actually me, a guy from my school, and another guy from a different school. And we went, and the guy from my school, we just promoted him to purple. He beat me, and Then I beat the guy that beat him. So it was like this weird, triangle thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got second place. My buddy got first place, and then the guy we didn't know, he got third place.
Nice.
And so had some defeats, had some losses all in the same day, and so it was, for me, it was a big step to get out there and and get some wins. So it was cool. Yeah.
Do you think that competition is for everyone?
I think everyone should try at every belt level to compete. I feel like, especially, I don't know. I mean, I can only really compare it to the Phoenix Jiu-Jitsu scene. I started in New York. I didn't compete while I was there, but I was just a white and a blue belt, barely a blue belt when we moved out of New York. But I think if everyone would compete at least once, go out there and give it a shot at every belt level, it would kind of give them a good assessment of where they need to be. And instead of thinking it about I don't like to think of it like a competition, but more like an assessment check on what I need to go work on, type of thing. And, you never know in the training room who you're getting that day. It can be, it could be somebody who's fresh, or it could be someone who's hiding injury, just not feeling it that day, whatever it is. So successes and failures in that room aren't necessarily, it's not a bad thing, but in my opinion, but if you go to tournament, everyone's trying to win for sure.
Yeah.
At least that day, everyone's trying to win. So whatever you assess from that day is going to be quite a bit different than what you see in the training room, in my opinion. So that's why I think everyone should do it. And then the other part I was going to put on there was to me, it's kind of like, if you don't go and check it out, then when you move to the next level, you won't have that confidence piece.
Yeah.
That's there. So and then the third thing would be, it's really hard for an instructor not to promote a student when they're out there winning. If you're out there, if you're a blue belt and you're out there winning, you get 4, 5, 6 wins.
What if you're out there losing?
Guy's been a blue belt for a couple. I still count it. I mean, they're out there getting the assessment, type of thing. But I don't think no one goes out and doesn't win at least one match. I mean, if you've competed like 5, 6 times at let's say blue belt, there's somebody along the way that's going to be up for their first competition. You got an edge. You may not have better jiu-jitsu than that person, but the whole competition mindset's a whole different thing. And to me, part of jiu-jitsu is exploring our brains and really figuring out, our capabilities. So I know guys, I'm probably one of them, who's a complete terror in the training room, and then gets to competition, it doesn't quite go that way, and like, man, I can always hit this. What's going on,
Yeah.
So, competition adds a whole new flavor to everything.
Absolutely. Well, competition is very much a mindset game. So how do you handle your internal battles and going into competition?
That one I struggled with for a while, kind of still do sometimes. I try to remember that the person across from me is just as nervous as I am, and they don't know what I know, and I don't know what they know. So we're equal in that regard. And they might have put together a little game plan or whatever, maybe I did, going into it. So, to me, it's kind of that fresh look. It's rare. If you get those round robins, and it's like, best of 2, your second match is always better than your first match because you know what the guy's going to bring, type of thing. But if you get one shot, it's one shot. And AZBJJL typically is, single elimination. So it adds a little flavor to it,
Yeah. Do you have any requirements for your students to be able to compete?
Not really. They just have to show interest in it. If I got a brand new white belt, this happens. I'm sure this happens everywhere. A guy will be 3 months into training out of the blue and like, hey, I want to go compete. And you go, okay, cool. Let's have a talk about that. It's not going to go as well as you think, or it might, who knows, but like, don't get discouraged, things like that. This is purely an assessment tool. I kind of think the way we approach it here, where we're just using it for assessment, of skills, that kind of takes some of the, need to win that's out of it. And honestly, like I'll go and watch a guy go, or myself even go, and maybe I'm working on a particular sweep or escape or something like that. And if I hit that, that particular thing a few times, that's good success.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's not all to the submission or it's not the point win or whatever it is, but maneuvering it to me is the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Submissions and everything, that's just kind of that in state that
Mm-hmm.
happens. But everything that happens in the middle, it's hard for us to remember, like, hey, actually, there's a whole thing going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so if I see, I mean, I can watch a guy go out and get armbarred, but if he passed the guard and did some stuff and
Right.
hit some sweeps on cue and was like taking coaching cues
That's good
and able to
stuff.
react to those things,
Yeah.
I'm going to look at all that stuff, not
Yeah.
just
Right.
the point that he lost by or the submission or something like that. So for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, that's just kind of what we try to look at.
Do you offer any competition classes for your students, or do you sort of like run your classes all the same? Like, how do you prepare your students
We
for
do.
competition?
Well, we roll a lot. It's a huge cornerstone for us. I know this is a dirty word in jiu-jitsu, but we're not guard pullers. We try to focus on, that's not that hard of a skill to get good at, but
Mm-hmm.
getting good at takedowns is not something that's easy to do. So we encourage that. And then
Yeah.
to your first question, yes, we offer a competition class. Typically when the season starts up, we'll, set like an early Saturday morning thing,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, if you do an 8 a.m. on Saturday, you know who's going to show up, the people who
Yeah.
want to be there, because that's a little bit early.
Exactly.
So
100%. And so, do you also go over the rule set?
yeah, we talk about the rule set because each tournament's different.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to ADCC, when that came to town, that's a completely different rule set than Grappling Industries or AZBJJL or any of the other ones that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we definitely go over and talk about that. And then even some of them, they allow different submissions or attacks,
Right.
depending. So we make sure we talk about those things, and then also strategy,
Yeah.
of how to deal with it, how to minimize points and maximize, if
Right.
that's the case. So.
And so, how do you guide your students regarding weight classes and weight cutting?
I don't personally encourage weight cutting. If it's a couple of pounds, fine. But if it's a massive lifestyle change, I find that especially for hobbyists, it does not translate well.
Right.
And they end up just getting weak and going out and getting smoked. And the idea was to cut down to a different weight, but if you had to go from 210 down to 185,
Mm-hmm.
another guy went from 190 down to 185, it's going to be completely different energy
Oh,
and strength
yeah.
levels that's in there. So to me, the juice is not worth the squeeze. And then also when I was coming up, my instructors were like, "Don't cut weight for a tournament." So this is kind of the way I was brought up as well. Like, don't do it. If
Yeah.
it's not a couple pounds, don't do it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't see the point, honestly. Like, a
not
real
me
fight, you're
either.
not going to worry about your
So
weight, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and honestly, one of the things I love about AZBJJ is that I'm 53, so they do have more age classes that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So in a real fight, I don't get to pick
Right.
my attacker.
Yeah.
Their any of the stuff, their age, their athleticism, their knowledge, like any of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it is nice to go and be like, hey, I want to assess myself against other 50-year-old black belts at 210 or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. So I really do like that about competition, where I get to kind of pick that piece
Right.
in and go. And then you can always go to absolutes and have a lot of fun. So.
Yes. All right. And so, what advice would you give to somebody that is looking to compete for the very first time?
Basic advice would be do it. Go sign up. We heavily encourage going to competition here. And be ready to learn a lot. Like that day you go down there, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, about how you react to pressure and these things. Don't get upset about whatever it is. Just collect the data,
Right.
bring it back, and let's sort it out after the fact. I mean, you got some guys who are like, hot in the training room, like I said, and then they have a problem. Well, that's not going to be a go to the mat, figure out type thing. That's going to be sit down
Mm-hmm.
and have a conversation about that and give them some strategies about how to deal with the nerves and things like that.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot of great wrestlers here. that are up here. This
Nice.
town's pretty big on wrestlers, and those guys compete a lot,
Yeah,
and they
of
don't get to
course.
pick their age. So they get weight class. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't even get belt level.
Yeah.
They just get weight.
Yeah.
Um, so the way they prep the mindset for it, they hey man, right before you go out, pull your socks up. We don't wear wrestling shoes in jiu-jitsu, but whatever, adjust your belt. Tie your gi a certain way every single time before you go out. Listen to headphones. So like these little tiny tricks to get you. And
Mm-hmm.
I call them Dumbo's feather.
Mm.
But whatever your little Dumbo feather is, take your feather and set it down right before you go out there and go do your thing. Then pick your feather back up.
Yeah.
That's kind of the advice we give. So
Awesome. All right. Well, we've seen you guys out at the Arizona Jiu-Jitsu League events, so we appreciate the support. Um, but tell us, how has your experience been with the league? And you're free to say anything. So hopefully it's
oh,
all
of
good
course.
though.
Yeah, no, like when I first did it, I didn't like it. I'm not a big fan of the IBJJF at
Mm,
all.
yeah.
That they even exist is not my favorite. And you guys follow that rule set. But it's, generally speaking, a decent rule set that's there. It does encourage the guard puller to do his thing. And,
Yeah.
let's face it, it was all made to benefit a certain organization, and my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Um, but generally speaking, I like it. It's well ran. I mean, one of the things I really love about it is the two separate bullpens, and then there's a person coming out to grab you up and to make sure. And then there's the scorekeepers got their responsibilities. Ref's got his responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't got a bunch of people kind of jumping different lanes,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I do like how organized it is,
Cool.
and then it runs timely. Um,
Yeah.
Back at 3 o'clock there, it's going to start back up for the adults and that. So
Right.
if I got kids coming down, I'm like, I tell them, I'm like, hey, you're not like little kids, you're not gonna be here past noon.
Yeah.
That's what their parents want to hear and stuff like that as well.
Right.
And then, for my adults, I'm like, don't even bother driving down just yet,
Yeah.
and for us, it's 100 miles. So it's a 100-mile drive.
The drive.
So a lot of
Yeah.
it for us is going to be, well, for me, I typically go down there and get a hotel and stay the night before. So when
Mm-hmm.
we decide to support a tournament, it's not just simply hopping in the car and driving across town.
Right.
It's a whole day for us,
Absolutely. Yeah.
of going down the hill. So,
Yeah,
but
especially
yeah.
for you as a coach. I mean, it's really a
Oh, for
whole
me, it's a
day for
long day.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a
Well,
long
that's
day for
that's really
sure.
good to hear.
So,
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing. It was very nice getting to know you and the school. Where can people find you on social media?
oh gosh, at Combat Club AZ, on Instagram and on Facebook, I think it's just Combat Club, either Cottonwood or AZ. I'm not sure. We just recently changed it up because we're at
Yeah.
Sedona, and we figured it was a lot easier to just call it Arizona.
Yeah.
From now on, we have the idea we'd like to get a little spot in Jerome and get something out in Camp Verde as well, because it's not a huge community out here. We're kind of spread
Uh-huh.
out. So we know how it is. If you have to drive more than half an hour, you're probably not going to go to class. And
Yeah.
so we're trying to make it
Right.
to where people have to drive any more than 15 minutes. So that's the
Awesome.
goal
Well,
anyway.
wishing you much success with your new school. And yeah, keep crushing it over there, and we'll see you at the events. Thank you
Sounds
so
great. Nice
much.
talking to you.